Srinivas. I am working as an assistant professor in ARE College. In this session, we'll discuss few table commands. The table commands means those commands that are used to create or drop or alter the table. So in this session would be basically to learn commands which are required to create a table, to drop a table, or to alter a table. Again, alter we'll have multiple options, like to drop a column, or to add a new column, or also to alter the existing column. For example, your existing column is varchar 25 and you wanted to make it varchar 50. So these are the three commands we will be learning today. The first thing is create table. So why do we need table? Table is required to store data in a database. Database is a container. In that we will have tables. So what is a table? It contains columns. Table contains columns, and these columns will hold the data. So table is a entity which holds data. A table is a thing, is an object in SQL or in DBMS to store data. So in order to store the data, we need a table. That table is an object in SQL Server. Now we'll see how to create table. Okay. Table creation can be done in two ways. One by writing SQL code. We can create a table. Also, using the graphical user interface from SQL SSMS, that is SQL Server Management Studio. Also, you can create a table. Okay, you can create a table. Now, first we'll see the first option, how to create a table by using the command by the writing query. So in order to create a table, we need to follow the syntax called as create table. Create table is a keyword. Create table, and table name. So create table followed by the table name. Then in that, what are the columns you want to have? Okay, you need to have suppose 3 columns. Then column 1, column 2, column 3. Now also you should have the data type. Every column should have a data type. That means you should know what is column is going to store about. Suppose you want to store a number, then you need to have an integer data type. If you need to store a string value, you need to have a varchar or character field. If you want to store date and time, you need to have a date and time data type. So the syntax would be create table, table name, create table name, then column 1, column 2, column 3. Suppose you have 3 columns, column 1, column 2, column 3. Column 1 data type. Suppose you want to store their integer, then you have to store a number. Then you have to make it as an integer. If you want to store a number, integer, or big int, tiny int. You want to store any character fields, you can use char and varchar. If you want to store a date fields, then you have to use the data called as date time. There are many other data, but at the initial starting stage, we'll just see these 3. Okay, now I'm going to create a table called as person. So I'm saying create table person. In that, person ID. Person ID will be integer. Person ID will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I'm making it as an integer. Then I have last name, first name, address, and city. So after the person ID, I'll store his last name, first name, address, and city. All these four are character fields. So all these are all character fields. So this is going to now if you copy this syntax, if you copy this code and execute on the SQL Server window, your table will be created. So you can see like this. Once your table is created, you can see the table is created, a person is created, because your table name is person. Then followed the columns are person ID. Then we have last name, then you have first name, then you have address, and you have city. So these are the, I have created a person table by writing a code. In order to write a code, we'll have to open the SQL Server Management Studio Query Analyzer, query window. Choose the database in which you want to create database table. There will be many databases. You have to choose. Suppose you're going to work on a DB called as DB called as college. Go to college DB and write this lines. Create table is a syntax. Create table name followed by in the brackets open, brackets close. In between, you have to write the column names. What are the columns you want to store in this table? In this case, I'm storing person ID, last name, first name, address, and varchar. You copy this and say F5 or execute. Say F5 or press the arrow button on the query analyzer window. Press the arrow or or press F5. Then your table will be created. Go to the studio and check if the table is created or not. Okay, this is the first way of creating this table. Okay, so in the first case, here we have seen the syntax to create a table by using the command line, by using the writing code, create table name, followed by the columns you want to have. In this case, I'm having 5 columns here. Okay. Now we'll see the second method. Of creating. Now, currently we are dealing only with writing code. We'll see at the next stage how to create a table by using the graphical user interface. In the second method, what I'm going to do is that in the second method, in the first method, your written code to create with this piece of code. This piece of code is the code which is used to create this table called person. Now we'll see the second case, how to create without creating like this. Okay, in this case, now I already have a table called person. Now I want to make it a duplicate of it. I want to create a duplicate object of the same persons. So I'm not going to create table by writing create table test persons, because I already have a table by name person. Now I'm going to copy that. I want to copy all the columns, all the data from persons. From the person is the existing table. I want to create a new table into test person. Test person is a new table name which I want to create. Now for that, we'll see how. Now second method, create table using another table. In this case, we are going to create a table based on another table. Another table is persons. Now I want to create a new table called as test persons. Okay. Now a copy of an existing database table can be created by using create table syntax. Okay, a copy of an existing table can be created by using the create table. The new table will have the same column definitions. All columns or specific columns can be selected. You don't need to select all the columns. If you want to, in the original table, we had 5 columns. Those are person ID, last name, first name, and we had address, We also had city. We also had city. These are the 5 columns you have in the existing table. Now I'm going to create a new table called test persons by taking only 3 columns. Those are person ID, worker last name, and first name. So here the original table is having 5 columns, but in the new table which I'm going to create, I'm going to have only 3 columns. Now, and here, and one more condition to be done is that when you're creating a table from based on an existing table, all the data will be also be copied. Suppose this table, persons table, is having 10 records. Is having 10 records. The new table test person will also have 10 records, because we are making a copy of an existing table called persons into the new table called test person. Test person is only name. Here person is the name of the table. In the second case, this is the name of the table. I can have any name, but I cannot have same name wise, because no two objects in database can have the same name. No two objects can have the same name. So instead of persons, I can say test persons, or I can say person test, person temp. Okay. Now, copy, in order to copy the persons into test persons, we need to write a piece of line of code. That line of code is select the required columns. Select here in this case, if I want to have only 3 columns, I'll say select person ID, person first name, last name, into the keyword here, into new table. Into is the keyword, into the new table name. This will be the new table name. This will be the new table name. This will be the new table name. Okay, from where? From existing table is persons. So, in order to copy a table from another table, you have to use the keyword called into. So, select columns like A, comma B. I want 2 columns into the keyword into C. Suppose C is my table name. From where you want to copy? I want to copy from D. See, I'm writing select statement. I want 2 columns from D. A and B. A and B are the 2 columns. I want to copy into C new table name. From where? From table name D. So, for example, select person ID, last name and first name. See, your person is having also other columns also. It is having, apart from these 3 columns, it also has address and city. It also has address and city. So, I am saying select person, last name, first name into test persons from persons. So, this is D. This is D. This is C. This is A, comma B. The other two. If you see the syntax, select A, comma B. Here I am saying person, last name, first name into C. Into C is the new table name. From where? From the original table D. Now, when this command is executed on the SQL server on your DMS, a new table is created by name persons, having the same data of the persons table. So whatever the data is there in the persons table, in the persons table will be automatically copied to the new table called as test persons. You automatically calculate a new table called test persons, and this will hold the same content of the persons. And also, if you don't want to mention column names, you can say select. You can also say select star. Star means all columns. Suppose I want to make same copy replica of persons table. Instead of writing columns A, comma B, comma C, I can write say select star. Select star means all columns. Star means all columns. All columns into C. Into C is what? C is the new table name from D. D is old table name. So when you say star means all columns. If you don't want to write star, you can mention the columns, whatever columns you want. I want only person ID. Then you say person ID. Then you say person ID. Now only this column will be copied into new table called as test persons. And also the data is also copied. Kind of if you okay, after table is created with this syntax, with this with this syntax, table is created. This table is created. Now the data is copied. So select persons, last name, first name into test persons from persons. No, now from persons table, 3 columns data is copied to the new table called as test persons. So when you say select star from test persons, select keyword star means all columns from table name. Here my table name is persons. So I will get all the data available in the persons table. In this case, in the second method, so what we have done is we have a table called as persons. We want to make a copy of the table, duplicate copy. So no two tables can have the same name. So I have to choose a different name for persons. In this case, I am choosing my name as test persons. Test persons is the new name. And if I want to stay all the columns, I'll say select star from persons. If I don't want to stay star, I'll say required columns are 1, 2, 3. I want only 3 columns. Okay, and after this is executed, after this statement is executed, you are going to when you use the select statement, you will see the data same as the first table. Okay, this is the second method of creating data from existing table. Okay, here so what happened was that person is there, is the original table. You copied to new table called as test persons, and it has the same data as this. This has 10 records. This has 10 rows. This has 10 rows. 10 rows. Now we think that I don't want to have the data here. I want only the structure. I don't want to have the data in this table. See, I want only the structure. Now test person is having structure plus data. Where in the new table is test persons. Test person is a new table name holding data from persons table having both structure and data. Now if I don't want to have the data, I want only the structure. That means I should have an empty database table of test person, empty database table of persons table, and the name of the table is test persons. Test persons. Test person. Then we'll have to introduce some false conditions. Okay, we'll see that. Select required columns 1, 2, column 1, column 2 into new table, from where? From existing table, where 1 is equal to 2. So 1 is never equal to 2. 1 is not equal to 2. This is a false condition, and this false condition is now we are trying to impose a false condition. I'm saying that select, see the example, select person ID, last name, first name into test person 2. This is a new table. From person is existing table where 1 is equal to 2. Where 1 is equal to 2. That means I'm introducing here a false condition. That is 1 is equal to 2. When 1 is equal to 2, that means it is not a valid condition. Nothing will be written here. So it's an empty table will be created having no data. It will have no data. Okay, it will be having no data. So in this case, we also using into command. but we're also using a false condition where 1 is equal to 2. When 1 is equal to 2 means it is not a valid condition. It means your data will not be copied. Only the structure of the database will be copied. Okay. If we say select star from test persons, you will not see any data. You will not see any data. No data is found because you have used a false condition. If you remove this condition, then count of then you'll see data here. It will be equal to which will be equal to the equal to the persons table. Will be equal to the persons table. Be equal to the persons table. So so what we have seen here is that we have we have seen two methods. We have seen two methods of create table. One with writing a command directly to create table. So the second example we have seen is that to create a table based on another table by using into command. In that also we have seen when we introduce a false condition, you will not see data. You will see only structure of the database. You will see on the structure of the database. Now till now we have seen the syntax to create table. Okay, before we go to the drop, we can also create table by using graphical user interface, the GUI. Go to the SSMS SQL Server Management Studio and connect it to the database by providing username password. Username and password. After it authenticates, okay, you'll see the list of databases. Like choose the required database table and click on table node, and say new database table. Now a table is now a window is open. You need to give the column names. Column name A integer, B varchar, C date time, and after that you save the table. Then it will ask you to provide a table name. You give the name of the table. For example, when I want a student table to be a student table. Okay, this is the other way of creating a table. One is through using writing SQL code. The second option is to create from the management studio by using graphical user interface. Means open your SSMS and authenticate by using username password. Then after it is authenticated, go to the required database where you want to create table. Say create table. Then you say new table, and when you say new table, a new window is open. In that we have to provide the column names along with data types. These data types will be in the Dropbox drop down. You can choose the required data type, close it, and save it. This is the second method of thinking. Now we'll see the to drop a table. See, we can drop as we have rights to create a table, because we have rights to create table. And if you also have the drop permissions, not all users will have the drop. Not all users will have the drop permissions. So if you have the drop permissions, if your administrator has given you the drop permissions, then you can drop a table. In order to drop a table, you have to use the syntax called as drop table name. Suppose you want to drop the student table, you have to say drop table name here. table name. Suppose I want to drop student view table. I'll say drop table, student table, drop. Similarly, if you want to drop a table called as person, drop table person. By this command, you can drop a by create table. You are able to create a new table. Create table. Table name is X, suppose, followed by column names. In order to drop a table, we have to use the command called as drop table. Table name. Here drop table name is student view. With these three lines, these three words, you can drop a table. Okay. Now we'll see the alter. Now we'll see the alter syntax. Okay. Alter. Alter means change. Alter means change. Alter means change. Alter means you already have some structure with you. You have an existing table. You want to make some change to the table. Structure only, not to the data. If you here in this case, alter means changing the structure of the data. Okay. Alter means changing or modify database structure. Okay. In this we have three types. Okay. First type is to drop a column, add a new column, or change column. Change column. Okay, in the alter, we have three types. In the from existing table, if you want to drop a column, or the existing table, you want to add a new column. In the third case, in the existing table, you want to change the column properties. Suppose the column is varchar of 25. You want to make it a varchar of 50. So why do you use the alter? Alter is used to modify. Suppose you have to make some changes to the structure. Instead of dropping the table, recreating the table, and again inserting the old records. It is a lot of activities involved here. Suppose your column is accepting only name of 25 characters. Tomorrow you get a person whose name is 50 characters. That means 50 will not fit in 50 characters will not fit into 25 characters field. So in order to make it happen, so what you have to do is, we have two options here. In the first option, you can drop the table. Recreate the table, insert data. Once again, all the data. Suppose you have 10,000 records, you have to write again query to insert 10,000 records, which is a huge task. And not a recommended option, because not to just to save one new field, not to just make change to one field, you are dropping the table, you are deleting 100 1,000 records or 10,000 records, again recreating it. Instead of doing that, I'll just say modify. Say modify the column property from 25 to 50. This is called as alter. Okay, this is called as alter. Now we'll see the syntax. To drop a column. In order to drop a column, we have to use the syntax alter table. Like you had create table, drop table. Now your command is alter table, table name, alter table name, drop column, column name. So here, suppose from existing table is having 5 columns, you want to drop one particular column. So in order to drop a column, you have to say alter table name is table name, required table name. From which table you want to drop a column, say drop column A. Suppose I want to drop the email column from the customer table. From the customer table, I want to drop the email column. I'll say alter 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 table, table name is customer, a customer, drop column name as email. Okay, see this command alter table name, drop column email. My email column which is existing in the customer table will be removed, will be dropped. That only particular column is dropped. That particular column is dropped. Alter table name, drop column. This is the first thing. Now we have seen what is the command, to drop a column. In this case, to drop a column, we have to use the command called as alter table name, drop column email. Now this column is dropped. Now we'll see this example. In this example, my column is there, which is storing varchar of 25. Which is storing a value of 25. Now I want to make it as varchar of 50. I want to make it as a varchar 50. Then that means I already have a column, but I want to change its properties. In order to change the properties, we have to use the command called as alter. See, alter table means you're altering the table. You're saying alter table name. Then you'll say alter column. Alter column. Which column you want to modify? City. Because city is 25. Now I want 50. City varchar of 50 or 100. Now already your table, the customer table is having a column called as city, and it holds 20 or 30, whatever. Now you want to make it as 100. You want to make it 100. You'll say alter table name is customer. Then I'll say alter. What you want to alter? I want to alter column name, column. I want to alter column city from varchar 32 or 2200 or 3200, 100. Now what is going to happen is when I execute this statement, the city will hold now 100 characters. Earlier it is holding 20 or 30. Suppose it was 20, it is holding 20. If it is holding 30, it is holding 30. Now from 20 or 30, you have made 100. Now this is the column. This is the alter column. It means altering the column structure from the varchar of 25. You want to make it 100. I'll say alter city varchar of 50. Now till now in the alter we have seen to drop a column, drop column. We also seen alter column to modify the structure. Now we will see how to add a new column to existing table. How to add new column to existing table. We know that the alter table statement is used to add, delete or modify columns in existing table. The alter table is also used to drop or add various constraints on existing table. If there are any constraints or if there are any existing columns also, you can drop those, or you can also add a column. We have seen now we will see how to add a column. Okay, in order to add a column, we have to follow the syntax. Alter, alter, alter name, alter table name, alter, add column name, data type. You don't need to write add column like you said, drop column or alter column or alter column. You don't need to write add column. Add column. Just write alter table, table name is customer, add name of the column is email, and it is a varchar of 100. Okay, it is varchar of 100. By this case, I'm adding a new column. See, in the first slide, I have shown you how to drop a column. Drop column, column name. Drop column name. Drop column, column name. Now here, in order to add alter table, customer, add email. This is the email. Is a new column I want to add. I want to make it as varchar 100. I want to make it as a varchar 100. Okay. Now we'll see one last command in this table commands is how to insert data from another table. You have a table called A. And you also have a table called B. Now this is having 10 records. You want to copy this data into this table called B. Okay. Now for that we have to use the command called as insert into select statement. See here, insert into select statement is the syntax will learn now. Syntax okay. Insert into the select insert into select statement copies data from one table and insert into another table. Insert into select table copies data from one table copies from A and insert into B. Okay, insert into select requires the data types in source and target table matches. That means if these two are identical in data types, that means when I say identical data means follows same structure, then you can copy from A to B. And also A records will not be affected. A remains the same, but in all the records from A will be copied to the column to the new table called B. Okay. Now here we'll see the syntax. Insert into table 2. Table 2 is the new table, is the existing table having no data. So insert into B. From where you want to insert, select star from A. If you don't use the where condition, all the data will be copied. If you use the where condition, only the condition satisfying will be inserted. Now here I have a table called as test person. Okay, I have also a table called as test person 2. This has 10 records. This has 0 records. No data is there. I'll say insert into new table name is B here. B insert into this B should be already created having no data. So insert insert into the second table B, select star from existing table is A. Okay, and you don't give the where clause. If you don't give the where clause, all the data will be copied. When I execute this statement, insert into test persons 2, select star from test persons. So all the data from the test persons will be copied to the test persons 2, will be copied to the test persons 2. And if you don't give the where condition, all data will be copied. If you give a where condition, just say here, where person ID is equal to 1. Is equal to 1. When you execute these two lines, only this condition which matches where person ID is equal to 1, that will be copied to the person's test persons 2. Will be copied to the test persons 2. Understood? In this in this command, we have two tables A and B. Both are similar, identical. This has no data. This has 10 records. Assume by using this condition, by using this syntax, you are copying the content from table A and pasting it table B. Table A is not affected. It remains the same. B will have now 10 records. Earlier it was 0 records. By using this command, we made it as 10. Okay. With this, we completed the table commands. In this, we have seen in this session, we have seen how to create table, new table. Then we also seen create new table based on existing table, and we also seen how to drop a table, and again how to change the structure. We have alter. In this also we have seen 3 types. Okay, drop column, add column, alter column structure. And at last, we have seen how to copy the content from table A to table B. Okay, table A, table B, both tables already existing. If there is no table existing, we have to use command called into copies that makes a copy of A to B. So if I say A into B, so all the content from A will be copied to content B. Thank you. This completes the table commands which are used to create or drop or alter the table structures. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.